Welcome to another episode of the Charlotte Mason Philippines, where we talk about our day-to-day ponderings and applications of Miss Charlotte Mason's method. Hi everyone, I'm Gina Roldan of Our Living Learning.
And I'm Normie Herrera of CM Pinay BookClub. Grab your coffee or tea, take a break, and join our conversation. Welcome back. So we're here again for another episode of the Charlotte Mason Philippines podcast. Hello, Gina. Kamusta?
Hi, Normie. Hello. Okay naman.
Ito na, meron na naman tayong bagong pag-uusapan. Nakaka-excite kasi, di ba, last week we had the episode on riches. Na-enjoy niyo ba yon? If it was helpful for you, you share it with us. So, Gina, this week, ano naman yung ating i-discuss?
So, this week, and we mentioned last week that we wanted to invite CM moms to share their experience on how, maybe ano yung effect sa kanila ng mga practices under riches. And we have Eya here. She's a CM mom, and she will tell us her story first on, how she met Charlotte Mason. Kamusta ang CM education ng pamilya ngayon? Anong nangyayari sa buhay niya ngayon? So, Eya, let's welcome Eya, our first official guest here in Charlotte Mason Philippines podcast.
And also, Gina, just to quickly mention, si Eya kasi, she's the one who actually started the Charlotte Mason Pinay BookClub. She actually, sent, parang post siya sa group natin noon, Charlotte Mason Philippines. And naghahanap siya ng mga other moms who would study the volumes with her. So from there, dun siya nag-grow. O, diba? Si Eya yun. So, there. So, Eya, share mo naman yung kwento mo. Paano ka napunta sa method ni Charlotte Mason?
Yes. Na-pressure naman ako dun sa siya ang nagpo-umpisa. Yes. Pero, ayun talaga. So, nag-start kami kasi ng ng homeschooling. Parang I was researching about homeschooling mga 2017. Ganyan. Tapos nung time na yun, eclectic pa ako. Hindi ko alam kung ano ba ito, dapat ba ganitong magagawin natin, mga nature. Tapos yung mga ano ba yung mga toys na wooden blocks, something. So, parang ang ganda-ganda ng mga laruan ng mga bata. So parang yun, mga ganun pa lang yung start namin. Kasi at that time, si Summer, 3 years old pa lang siya noon eh. Tapos, then eventually nga, nakikita ko yung mga iba. So, especially si Miss Gina. Siya talaga yung mentor ko noon. Kasi, clueless pa ako sa Charlotte Mason. Tapos, nung mga nababasa ko yung mga parang sinishare niya, parang it resonates on what I believe in, what I want for our family, na wala masyadong mga, yung minamanipulate yung environment or mga piniprint na worksheets. Tapos naging interested ako kay Charlotte Mason because of that, na short lessons lang daw. Tapos na kayo by noontime. So, yun. And then,
I'm sorry. Yes,
sorry. And then yung dun naman sa sa pag-start ng book club, kasi yun eh. So kasi nga sinasabi ni Miss Gina noon na may mga quote siya ng mga pinupost. Kasi hindi ko maintindihan. Tapos galing siya sa Charlotte Mason na series daw sa book. Tapos sabi ko, sige nga, i-try ko nga basahin yan. Tapos binabasa ko siya. Tapos hindi ko talaga maintindihan kasi ang lalim ng mga words ni Mother Charlotte.
English kasi, di ba? Ang field.
Ayun nga. Tapos siguro doon, because I wanted to know more, I wanted to know how can I apply it sa aming tahanan. Ayan. So I need someone I can bounce ideas with. And then I started asking around, baka gusto yung mag-book club. Yun, luckily, meron ding may gusto.
Ayan. So, actually, yun nga, si Eya, as you've heard in her story, I think some of you, or if not most of you, also has the same experience, di ba, na Gina? Kasi she's telling that story and parang ako naisip ko, ay, ganyan din ako nung umpisa. Di ba? So, and it's wonderful na you were able to discover the method of Charlotte Mason. And ito yung isa sa mga bagay that is wonderful about it is that you wanted to learn more, which is one of the main principles din of Charlotte Mason, di ba, Gina?
Yes, nakakatuwa listening to your story, no. It really is all our story. Parang lahat tayo dumaan diyan na hindi natin naiintindihan. Ako, when I first encountered Charlotte Mason, parang ano ba 'to? Parang para lahat ng pictures Victorian. Sa mga blog dati, parang I couldn't understand it. And yes, but like what you said, no, Eya, there's something about it na parang nagko-connect sa'yo. It's probably, maybe we share a certain vision of how we want to educate our children. And maybe that's the pull that Charlotte Mason provided. Parang ito yung pinapakita niya. Thank you, Eya, for sharing your story and for starting CM Pinay BookClub. Dahil dyan, marami talagang moms na nakakaintindi lalo sa volumes. It's the only way really to understand the method, no? Besides implementing, you really have to understand the words. So thank you again. And so today, si Eya, tutulungan niya tayong maintindihan lalo kung ano ang art, ang picture talk, picture study, or what we call art appreciation. So, ano bang art appreciation? Bago natin alamin kung paano to gawin, and we will all try to share how we do it or what Charlotte Mason says about it. I just want to point out certain points kung bakit siya ba't sinasabi ni Charlotte Mason kailangan gawin. So number one is, it is to stimulate the child's appreciation for art. So that's one thing, very basic. We want our children to learn to see beauty. And this is an opportunity for a child to appreciate it. Another is, it's also a very practical way to introduce and familiarize children the work of the great masters of art. So, but take note, it is an opportunity to introduce, not to bombard, not to make them memorize the dates kung kailan napanganak si Van Gogh, kailan namatay, ano yung klaseng
Yung
artist.
style nila.
Hindi po ganon. It's to introduce para nilang magiging friend. Yon. Another thing is to give children an idea of an artist's style. Another is to help children make clear mental pictures from description. We always talk about habit of attention, and this is one practical practice na matutulungan ng anak ninyo at tayo ring mga magulang na magkaroon ng clear mental picture, because this helps in the habit of attention. At mamaya, we will talk about it later. And lastly, this is also to cultivate the habit of observation and attention through oral and sketch narration. So these are just the important objectives na kailangan yung malaman bago nyo pasukan yung practice. Okay? So para mas malaki yung perspective nyo at hindi nyo lang siya iisipin na parang, okay, kuha tayo ng picture tapos kailangan talaga in every CM practice naiintindihan dapat natin bakit natin to ginagawa, no? So, go ahead. Ano yung question natin for Eya? Go, Normie.
Actually, yun nga eh. I like that you highlighted that na it's important that we know the why behind the principle of this art study or picture study nga. So, and again, it's different kasi for every family eh. So now we would like to hear from you, Eya. For you naman, how do you do picture study and paano yung setup ninyo ni Summer?
So, for us, recently, nagbago yung aming picture study setup kasi nag-launch na tayo ng co-op natin, di ba? Pero prior to that, meron, nung kami palang dalawa ni Summer, I just prepare yung mga pictures ahead of time. And siguro a brief introduction about the artist para alam niya din kung sino ba to nag-paint na to. Pero hindi naman sobrang detailed na, alam mo yun, parang sinabi mo na lahat ng nangyari sa kanyang buhay. Just enough for the child to relate, okay, taga dito siya, na part ng world, or ganito yung birthday niya. Kasi yung mga bata gusto nila yung nakaka-relate sila. So, nag-start kasi kami, di ba, nung 5 to 6 is summer ng mga picture study. Pero nung 5 siya, hindi pa naman formal. Nung 6 siya, doon na medyo nag-step up kami pero hindi man sobra. So yun na, meron akong background about the artist, yung birthday. Tapos natutuwa siya kapag malapit sa birthday niya. Kasi ay, parehas kami ng birthday. Or kung sinong kakilala niya na parehas ng birthday ng artist. Ayan. So tapos, nung umpisa, digital lang yung picture namin. Kasi, parang hindi pa ako confident na kumuha ng mga printed. Pero eventually, sabi ko, kailangan may naka-display talaga. Para, kasi it's really in the atmosphere eh. 'Di ba? Parang, after nyong i-discuss, nandoon na yung picture. Tapos eventually, kapag meron kaming napanood na movie, tapos nandoon yung picture ng artist. Sabi niya, ay, meron tayong ganyan sa bahay. So yun,
Yeah.
nakakatuwa kapag may talagang science of relations.
Okay. Actually, I can relate to that, no? Same thing din na pagka, for example, yeah, may mga movie or may mga images that they encounter online, tapos nakikita nila yung art na yon. Sabihin nila, Mami, ayun na, tapos babanggitin nila yung name ng artist. Parang ako, wow, naalala talaga nila. And it really registers. So that's one of the things that sometimes we, alam mo yon, think that children do not really remember or parang for them, it's too much for them to really absorb. But you will really be surprised, no? Di ba, no, Gina? Pagka inoferan mo na sila ng mga ganitong masterpieces, they can really take it in.
Yes, true. I like what Eya said na the printed pictures. Ako rin, I started off with ano kasi, ako naman sa book, pero hindi ko siya malagay sa, hindi ko siya
So
ma-display.
what?
So I agree that it adds to the atmosphere, just seeing beauty, it really adds to the home. And but another thing is baka litong-lito mga listeners natin kung paano ba natin to ginagawa. Maybe we could just summarize on the steps on how we actually do picture study. Now that you know the objectives at alam natin na may involved na picture, ano bang ginagawa natin sa picture na to? Maybe can you share, Normie?
Yes, with regard to the pinaka-process of doing this lesson, first and foremost, of course, you need to choose which artist and what picture you want to study on. So, and then you will just sit down with your children and allow them to just look and appreciate the painting, the art. And then after some time, usually, Gina, that's 1, 2, or depende kung ilang minutes yung kaya ng attention. Again, we would like to reiterate yung attention nila. So kung fidgety na sila after ilang minutes, kailangan na mag-stop kasi we don't want to, alam mo yun, encourage that. We want them to really have that focused attention when they're looking at the painting. And so after that, doon na kayo magkakaroon ng discussion. Like what Eya said, for some of you na may older children, na they can already take in some lessons about the artist or some other more pertinent details dun sa painting, then you can discuss that prior to the display, di ba? And then after nung makita, tignan, you allow them to remember, okay, so close your eyes, and just see it in your mind's eye, yan. If you can see the picture clearly, then you tell me, pag sinabi, Mami, parang hindi, okay, o sige, look again. Until they have that complete mental picture of the painting that you are looking at. And then after that, yun, Gina, di ba, doon na kayo mag-uusap. So ano yung mga nakita mo or napansin mo about it? And that's where the conversation of your art study will begin. Di ba, Gina?
Yes, I like what you said, no, that there's that important step that we want the child's mind, makuha niya yung clear picture sa mind niya. At dito yung sinasabi nating habit of attention. Ito yung habit of observation na we're giving them that opportunity. And so, once na medyo clear na sa mind's eye niya, dito na siya pwede mag-narrate. So, Eya, can you tell me how does it usually go? So, so at this point, sinasara na natin yung picture, 'di ba? Yung painting, hindi na natin ipapakita sa bata. And then we ask the child, "O sige nga anak, tell me everything that you know. Can you share a portion of how that happens?"
So, medyo nagte-transition na din kasi kami ngayon na si parang I'm homeschooling my other sister. So, dalawa sila sa bahay na nag-homeschool. And nung initially, nung isa pa lang yung hino-homeschool ko si Summer, ang ang pagna-narrate niya, so pagkatapos itanggal yung picture, um, I will just ask her, so what do you remember? And she will just tell me, um, starting with the colors, I saw these colors, or I saw this objects, or like there was a tree, there was a lady standing, and then eventually, kapag ginagawa namin siya, the more na ginagawa namin siya, mas nagiging detailed yung mga descriptions niya. And then, since na meron na akong isa pang hino-homeschool, I make it a point na kailangan yung mas bata muna yung mauuna. So that, kung ano yung sinabi niya, or kasi kapag nauna yung mas matanda, baka sabihin niya na lahat ng mga sasabihin ng bata. So parang yung bata, baka ma-discourage. Pero sometimes, meron din talaga na kasi yung sister ko, she came from their traditional school. And syempre si Summer parang nag-start siya from the beginning na yun talaga, na homeschool na talaga siya, Charlotte Mason na talaga yung method na ginamit namin. So, minsan yung description ni Summer, medyo mas detailed na siya kesa dun sa sister ko. Pero eventually, nung nasanay na din yung sister ko na nagpi-picture study, she is able to pick up on those certain description na din. Oo nga, no, she's able to see those finer details. So yun yung maganda sa sa Charlotte Mason talaga, na yung bata na-inspire sa older, and then yung older din na-inspire din sila sa mga younger kids.
Yeah, Eya, thank you for sharing that, no, yung in relation to your sister and your daughter, that ngayon at bago yung sister mo in the Charlotte Mason practices, parang siguro minsan hindi pa yung habit of attention and observation, hindi pa ganun ka-establish. But it's good that you mentioned that. It's for all our parents out there who are listening and who feel that they met Charlotte Mason too late. I always say, no, it's never too late. I started when I was 27 years old. So, may pag-asa sa lahat. And with that, nakikita natin yung growth ng bata unti-unti because of the practices of the attention and the observation. Thank you for that. So, ako din, pag sa mga anak ko, madami sila, ang ginagawa ko is when they start narrating back what they remember, ang rule is everyone should be listening to the other one narrate because they cannot repeat what the other one is narrating. Ako naman, random. Okay, kasi sila sanay sila mag-narrate, sila random. Meron akong 4 pencils, kuha lang ako, magdadampot lang ako. Sabihin ko, kunwari, may 4 akong pencil. Ikaw ito anak, ikaw ito. Gagano ko. Okay, tas gagano ko. Okay! Panganay, ikaw muna. So the eldest will narrate, but everyone again will have to listen because they cannot repeat what another one already mentioned. And you see here, even in that aspect of narrating as a group, meron pa ring habit of attention na kailangan nangyayari, no? At respeto sa mga taong nagnanarrate. So that's one thing also that parents can implement in your own setup. Ikaw, Normie, anything in that part na gusto mong i-share?
For me naman, it's also different. Kasi again, one of my children is in the spectrum. So you see, even if I do the picture study, sabay sila. Kasi that's also one of the things that I found helpful for me, na sabay sila nagpe-picture study. And then, I first asked my younger to narrate what he noticed and things like that. And then I asked my son, yung nasa spectrum. And sometimes it's quite different in the way I phrase the questions for their narration. Kasi syempre, again, I have to cater to the strengths of my child. So sometimes, ang makikita lang talaga niya yung mga interesado siya or mga kilala niya lang. Like for example, the sky looks like this. Mga ganyan lang siya. Okay. And then I don't force him anymore. If that's all he has noticed, if that's all he can narrate, then I just, parang celebrate that. Say, well, very good. Those are wonderful observations. And then we just continue on the other conversation, like, how did the painting make you feel? And then I feel like that was also a learning for me. Kasi kahit ako, nakakapag-share din ako nung mga na-observe ko, yung narrations ko rin about the painting. So lahat kami, even if I'm the facilitator of the learning, I'm also learning with them. Kasi ako rin Gina, like what you said, I came in late to this. So yung mga anak ko, year 2 or year 3, pero actually ako rin, naka-year 1 din ako sa art study, di ba? Nakiki-study rin ako sa kanila. Kasi hindi ko naman siya na-encounter sa aking pag-aaral growing up. It's very, very limited.
Yes, thank you for that. May extras. So, nagpunta ka na dun sa part na what do you think about it? How do you feel about it? So, recap lang na to our parents, those who are not yet familiar. So, we look at the image and then we try to observe and then we close the image and make sure that it's already clear in our mind's eye, and then the child starts narrating details. Sabi ni Eya, ano yung kulay nito, yung ganito, ito yung nakita niya, may babae, may jar, and so on. And then the child is narrating the details, the picture, how it looks like exactly, as much as he can. The child does not need to say everything because that's not the point of picture study. It's what struck the child, kung ano yung pwede niyang sabihin. And then and the third step would be, what do you feel about it? What can you say about it? Are there instances, Eya or Normie, wherein sa setup na to, may mga nasabi ba yung mga anak nyo na feelings nila towards a certain picture?
Yes, go ahead, Eya. Share yung experience mo.
I can remember yung kay Mary Casat. So, yun yung first na in-study namin na ano ba yung title niya? Yung Lady and the Ermine ba yun? Lady with the Ermine. Nakalimutan ko yung title. Pero yun, so may sofa, tapos parang naka-slouch yung batang ganun dun sa sofa. Tapos parang, ay hindi pala, sorry, yung kay Mary Casat, yung may bata, tapos basta meron siyang, hindi siya Lady with the Ermine, sa iba pala yun. Basta may bata sa sofa, tapos merong, nakalimutan ko yung, sorry, yung name nun.
Okay lang. Yung importante yung picture ang naaalala.
Yung picture yun. Kung naaalala niyo yung picture na yun. Tapos, meron siyang sinabi nun na parang, I don't know if the child looks sad or bored, or kasi before yung descriptions na are about the colors, the things, tapos slowly na-relate niya na yung experiences ng bata. Kasi parang yung binabasa namin at that time din, poetry about mga British kasi yun tsaka English poets, 'di ba? Sila sino ba yung poet natin sa year 1? Nakalimutan agad.
Emily Dickinson? Ano ko alam.
Yung lalaki. Basta, so basically, yun, tama. So basically, she was trying to connect yung way of living na nung mga bata or nung bata na yun dun sa mga binabasa din namin na books. So parang ako, ang galing, parang hindi ko naman siya tinuturo or something. She just adapts or parang nakuha niya yun, na-relate niya yun on her own. So parang okay, we're on the right track, anak.
Yeah. Thanks, Eya. Kayo, Normie, anything that you want to share?
Actually, there's one particular parang art study that really parang naging remarkable for me. Yung The Wounded Man by Gustave Courbet. We were studying that. Actually, if you will look at the painting, it looks gory kasi parang picture siya ng ng lalaki na nakapikit, tas meron siyang sugat sa dibdib niya, tas may sword sa tabi. So, when I put away the picture, after a while na observe nila, tinanong ko sila, so what did you notice? So yung anak ko, without me asking, kasi usually I would ask muna si Amos, which is my second son. Sabi ng panganay ko, who is in the spectrum? Sabi niya, there's a man with a sugat. So, okay, that's good. That's a good observation. Tapos yung anak ko naman isa sabi niya, the man has a sword, mom. Sabi niya, I think he's a warrior. So, I didn't really particularly mention what the story of the painting is about. Not yet. Kasi nga, mga maliliit pa sila nung pinag-usapan namin to eh. And then, syempre, ayan pa, yung mga observation nila. I think he's sleeping. And then ako, I had to ask them, did you notice the sky? Kasi ako naman, yun yung na-observe ko. But I didn't want it to come out as, parang ako rin, meron ako napansin. Pero I wanted to phrase it in a question so that I would still draw out some answers from them. And then my son said like this, sabi niya, yes, mommy, I noticed. It looks like it's late afternoon. Tapos sabi niya, bakit kaya may sugat yung mama? Sabi niya. Sabi ko, I don't know. What do you think? Pero there's a sword beside him. Sabi niya, sabi ko, when I read this painting, you know what? They said that there was a woman noong una in place of the sword. But now it's the sword. What do you think? Tapos sabi na anak ko, baka the woman is the sword. And true enough, when I researched more about that painting, yung original painting niya talaga, babae ang katabing ng The Wounded Man. And then later on, pinalitan ni Gustave Courbet ng sword. And I would just like to read, no, sabi niya dito, originally there was a woman leaning on the artist's shoulder. She had been replaced by a sword at the end of a love affair in 1854. So parang, wow, without me actually telling them the history of that painting, just by merely observing and, you know, parang talking about it and just drawing out what they feel about that painting, na connect nila, and that exactly was it. And I was so amazed with that moment that I was really telling myself, I cannot miss another art study again. I need to do this more often. Kasi even me, natutuwa ko, hindi ko alam na ganun pala yung kwento ng story, di ba? Ng art. So yun, that's one of the remarkable experiences I had with art study.
Wow, thank you, Normie, for sharing that. So again, parents, you now see that art appreciation under the Charlotte Mason method is not, the usual, nung college ako, the usual art study is, i-deconstruct mo, i-analyze mo yung painting, bakit madilim doon, bakit it's deconstructing it and it's not appreciating it. And that does a lot, when you present to a child and you merely ask the child to observe and pay attention. It does a lot, and in the end the child will have a relationship with the painting and hopefully eventually with the artist rin. So now that we've somehow given you an overview kung ano yung objectives, paano gawin, ano yung pwedeng nangyayari, habang ngayon naman pag-usapan naman natin, ano ba yung nagiging challenge? Kasi simpleng activity lang to actually. Sobra. It's actually, you can do it 15 minutes every week. One session every week. And, pero, may challenges pa rin siya. So, can you mention, Eya and Normie? Eya first, ano yung usual challenge for you? And maybe can you find a solution? Maybe you could share your best practice on how to actually solve that challenge. Go ahead, Eya.
Yes, of course. So, nung sinasabi, when I was learning about Charlotte Mason, di ba, ang daming nating riches, ang daming mga parang extracurricular activities na kailangan gawin ng mother. And parang nung may art study, sabi ko, ano to, wala naman akong arts background. Or parang hindi ko nga kilala itong mga painter na to. So mostly yung challenge is to overcome your own parang preconception about things, or ano ba yung parang lacking, yung feeling mo na hindi ka prepared. Yun talaga yung main challenge. But siguro once you start, parang you have to learn kasi sabi nga nila, ang thing na nagsa-stop sa atin is our fear, or our fear of the unknown. So kulang tayo ng knowledge, which can only be solved kung mag-research tayo, if we will read about her own words, kung paano ba to talaga ginagawa, 'di ba? Kasi you can keep reading yung mga blogs and watch mo din yung mga YouTube. These are all helpful naman. Pero you go straight to the source and read her words and then supplement mo yung mga ibang mga information, 'di ba? Because eventually you will get to that point na maintindihan mo na okay, ito pala kung ang reason kung bakit natin ginagawa ang picture study. 'Di ba? Sabi nga once you understand the why, you will know the how, the what. Yung everything else will follow. Tapos mas magiging confident ka na, ay okay lang pala, madali lang pala itong picture study. Yun.
Yes, thank you, Eya. And after knowing what Charlotte Mason actually says about it, we just have to do it. You know, ako simple lang yun eh. Minsan kasi ino-overanalyze natin lahat. Parang feeling natin kailangan perfect ang buong mundo bago tayo mag-picture study. But honestly, minsan, you know, you could do it while having breakfast. Or you could do it before bedtime. It should be simple. It should be reachable. And it is not hindi siya yung tipong, ano yun, basta mahirap. Simple lang po siya. Thank you, Eya. Ikaw, Normie, what are your challenges in this practice? And how did you solve it?
Actually, ang sa akin naman, because I have 2 boys, we know that boys can be, alam mo yon, fidgety. Minsan talaga hindi mo sila mapapaupo ng matagal. And so that's one of the things talaga that I did was first, alam mo yon, parang hina-hype ko na sila umpisa pa lang. Although we have a schedule, lagi kong sasabihin sa kanila, you look forward to our art study because we're gonna be talking about a wonderful painting. What is it? What is it? So, minsan, kaka-hype ko, doon ako nahihirapan. Masyado na silang excited. Gusto na nila malaman. So, what I do, pagka na kami, tapos medyo fidgety na sila, I always tell them that we will stop the moment I see that they're no longer interested. So, that catches their attention agad. Okay, because they want to continue. They want to do it. So mag-keep still sila. And then I will just keep it shorter. Kasi nakita ko na medyo hindi na sila ganun or fidgety na talaga sila, I try to make it shorter. And I do not, I no longer just try to, alam mo yon, draw out more and more. Kasi what I wanted is, again, like what you said, just appreciate the picture. And we can actually continue the discussion in the other moments of the day. Pwedeng during eating, kahit wala na yung picture. Kasi naaalala na nila, or remember the painting. So what can you say about it? Ano yung napili mo? So minsan hindi kailangan dun sa actual time if talagang kailangan mo i-shorten. So we talk about it on another moment.
Thank you, Normie. Ako naman at this point, we have been doing picture study, oh my goodness, since my eldest was 3 years old. And we are so used to the practice na we somehow take it for granted. So that is my challenge, in my family, and it's something that we don't do much because first of all, we love art. We all sketch, we all paint, and so to actually appreciate pictures and the artists, medyo naiisang tabi ko na unang-una kasi nga ginagawa na namin to dating-dati pa. And so my solution is that maybe I could introduce it before bedtime. Sometimes it becomes our bedtime story, just to change things a bit. Another thing is the way I ask questions, especially to the older ones. I make it different. Like, okay, can we focus on one aspect? I want you all to focus on one aspect of the painting and observe that painting. Iba-iba sila. And tell me and that's what you will narrate about. So things like that, I try to find certain questions, still open-ended questions, but to make it different. But in the end, knowing that the principle behind this picture study is for the child to observe, to pay attention, and to eventually have a relationship with the painting. So kaya importante, parati namin to sinasabi ni Normie, importante talaga yung why. Pag alam mo yung why, pwede mong iba-ibahin yung ways mo on how to implement it. So that's it. Any other thoughts from Eya? Maybe any other parting words on how you can encourage parents to just do it and maybe keep it consistent. Sige, encourage mo kung Eya. Sabihan mo ko na gawin kong consistent tong picture study sa bahay namin.
Yes. Well, very different naman kasi yung sa inyo, Miss Gina. Pero sa the rest siguro ng mga nakikinig, if you're still hesitant to do picture study, think of it as bonding with your children, a family bonding. Create parang, 'di ba? You're learning with your child and creating this happy memories together. And yung sa amin, to spice it up a little bit, kasi nga medyo matagal na din yung pagpipicture study namin. Parang, minsan din katulad ni Miss Gina, parang nananawa na sila. Pero, in order for us to make it exciting, kinumbine ko yung tea time. So parang may i-look forward din sila, ay kapag picture study may tea time din. Kasi 'di ba, yung mga bata gusto nila palagi ng mga food. So yun may pang additional na i-look forward to. So ayun, just just keep everything light. Huwag masyadong i-overthink and just do it, have fun.
True. Take note, mommies and daddies, do not overthink. Galing yan kay Eya. Keep it simple because honestly, it really should be simple. Thank you for that reminder, Eya. Any last words, Normie?
Rina, what I would just like to parang mention lang din. 'Di ba? I know for most of us, alam niyo yung mga picture sa mga bahay na Last Supper, yung mga aso na nagbi-billiards or nagka-cards. 'Di ba? It is stuck in your mind kasi yun yung mga nakita niyo sa bahay niyo. Now think about it. If those paintings in your houses are art pieces or pictures by master artists, those pictures will be retained in your child's mind all the way until they grow up. So my encouragement is that if you want to widen yung perspective, appreciation ng mga anak natin about art, hindi lang sila limited to one particular aspect of art, but they will be exposed to different kinds of artists, mediums, paintings, and stories behind those paintings. So imagine that richness that your children, and kahit ikaw as an educator, will be able to receive and absorb in your family, di ba? So, keep on. Yan. Keep it light. Tama si Eya. Huwag niyo overthink. Pwede naman panoorin lang. Tingnan lang, observe. And build that habit. Kasi you will get it eventually. That it becomes second nature to your family already.
Yes, thank you ladies for such wise words from Charlotte Mason moms, and I'm hoping that everyone who listened in learned something, no? But more than that, I hope you are encouraged. Hope you are encouraged to know the whys behind what we are doing as an educator and not simply do things just because ay ginagawa niya. Pero ang importante talaga dito is alam nyo kung bakit. And all of these things that we're doing, the simple practices that we're doing, we thank Charlotte Mason for introducing it to all of us because who would have thought, no, na ginagawa natin to, nag-appreciate tayo ng mga painting ng mga master artists, and we are sharing this love for learning with our children. So thank you again for being with us, and we will meet again next week. Hope you'll be here. We will talk about another aspect of riches, and we will have another guest. Thank you again, Eya, the lady who started CM Pinay BookClub. Thank you so much for your dedication
For having
as a
me.
mom. Yeah, thank you for your dedication as a mom. Most importantly, because of that, nagkaroon ng CM Pinay Book Club. It was an overflow of your heart. And never forget that. And so to those who are listening, you know, may nangyayari talaga pag nag-Charlotte Mason. So,
Talaga tayo, mga moms, mga parents. So, yeah. And this has been a wonderful discussion. I hope you learned a lot. Share with us yung mga things that you think was helpful for you or that yung mga major takeaways nyo. And then tag us. You can find us on Instagram and we are also on Facebook. And so we hope that we have helped you enrich your homeschooling once again with this episode.
thank you everyone. Bye. Thank you for joining Charlotte Mason Philippines. Again, we are a community podcast and we hope that this episode helped, encouraged, and inspired you today.
And there will be more conversations, so please subscribe to our podcast channels and join our Facebook group, Charlotte Mason Philippines.